What's up, y'all? It's been a minute. Welcome back to the channel. If you don't know me, my name is Chidi. I'm a videographer in Des Moines. I'm gonna start posting way more videos like this, kind of just explaining personal opinions about videography or kind of anything, and then tutorials, vlogs, kind of a bunch of like fun stuff that people can just chill and watch. So today's video is gonna be pretty simple. I'm just gonna be talking about why I dropped out of college and the pros and cons of me doing that, and kind of just explaining the process of that and I guess my journey as a videographer. So in high school, I had no idea what I wanted to do. When I graduated from high school, I wasn't thinking about photography or videography at all. I was just thinking about what's the best thing that I can do to put myself in position to make money, be happy. I just knew that personally, I just wanted to do something where I could be creative or I could, I don't know, just be something different. I just knew I was gonna be doing something different, but I just didn't know what or when. So I picked up a camera probably like a couple months before I started my first year of college. So the summer of 2019, going into college, I think my degree was liberal arts. And liberal arts is like the most basic degree you can get. It's like you have no clue what you want to do pretty much. So that alone, I wasn't really happy about that decision. I was kind of just there to be there. At the same time, it was like good for me because I wasn't just rushing into some random career that I didn't want to pursue. So the first year, I'd say the most beneficial class I took was like business. I learned a lot through that class, and I learned that like I'm good at just basic business because I had a really good grade in that class. And then there were some competition-based grades that I ended up getting A's in, so I knew like I was better than most kids in my class and stuff like that. And during this time with me going to college, I think I was just doing like 20 hours a week or something. I forgot, it wasn't a lot. Keep in mind, it's like 3-4 years ago. Literally, it's 4 years ago. I feel old, damn. Yeah, 3-4 years ago. So during this time, I'm doing music videos, and I'm only doing music videos. This is before I start tapping into like other projects. And I'm just doing music videos. I'm doing vlogs too. I did a couple vlogs. That's where I really started out at. During this time, I kind of am thinking about, okay, maybe this video stuff is for me. Maybe like I could really do this for a living. Originally, I just wanted to travel with musicians, artists, rappers and stuff, and just make music videos. So during this time, I was just skeptical about college. I've always been skeptical. One thing, like if you have a feeling towards something, you should trust your own instinct. To a certain degree, right? If you feel like you shouldn't be doing something, then you probably feel that way for a reason and you shouldn't be doing it. So for me, I just felt like I shouldn't even be here. Like in class every day, I was just like kind of negative about everything, about being there, not really trying my hardest, just doing like the most minimal thing possible in school. Because I had a whole ideology of something else I was gonna do. So in the back of my head, I was like, why am I even here? And I feel like a lot of people can relate to that. It's like, why am I here if I'm not gonna use my degree? I know so many people who have degrees and don't use it. It's literally insane. I feel like most people I know with degrees don't even use that degree. For me, as a kid, I've always known we were hella poor and shit, so I just didn't even think college was gonna happen. I didn't think like a university was possible. I didn't have any scholarships. I went to college with like a 2.0 or a 2.3 GPA or something really bad. It was below a 2.5. So the first year goes by, I passed all my classes. Pretty good. I'm so locked into these music videos. I'm editing every day. I'm shooting like every weekend, any day I can. I'm working a job, so I'm just like crazy busy. Summer 2020 comes along, and this is when life really like hits the fan. Like shit starts getting real. I'm doing hella music videos. I'm going through a bunch of just crazy life things. I'm not gonna go too deep into it, but dealing with things that a 19-year-old should not be dealing with, right? Just like mentally going through it. But during all this time, I'm just working. I'm grinding. So I'm in grind mode, but during grind mode, it's like I'm not even there mentally. So it was a bad headspace to be, right? And then, so going into the next year, I think I lasted like half a semester, just a few weeks. And that's when I was just like, I'm done. I think the semester before that, so my second semester, I failed one class. So I was already on academic probation. So I can't really like fail anything. I can't fuck up at all, or else they're gonna take my little grant away. FAFSA, they're gonna take that away or something. I just like kept flunking during that first semester of the second year. So the first year I took nothing artistic. It was all like business, basic classes pretty much that I needed. The second year is when I had a little bit more opportunity to like tap into these other classes, and I saw video production as one. So I was like, hell yeah, why wouldn't I take that class? It's gonna be great. So I remember the first day of the class, this dude is like, the professor's like 15 minutes late, right? He comes in, bro is so negative, just like weird, I don't know, it's weird. Comes in, and like the first day is kind of just explaining what the class is gonna be like, you know, basic stuff. And he's just kind of yapping most of the day. I don't know like specifically what he said, but he was saying how like this job is like this teaching job is a side gig. Like I don't really care about this shit. And then like I'm exaggerating it, but at the same time I'm really not. Like the way he said it was like kind of wild. I was sitting there just like, damn, okay, you really do not care. Like you're just here for money. And he was explaining how he had a different video production actual job with the news or something. So he's just there like chilling, doing the minimal you can do as a professor. And then a couple weeks in, it's only like a 2-day out of the week class or 1 day out of the week class. I think by week 3 or 4, we're learning how to set up a tripod. Like literally, there was groups of like 3 or 4, and our job was to just work with the tripod, set it up, no camera on it, just set it up. And I remember just sitting there looking around, like, like, is this actually happening? Like, are we like actually learning how to set up a tripod? This took like an hour, like 30 minutes an hour. Classes went 2 hours long, you know? So I'm sitting here like, bro, what are we doing? And then by like week 4 or 5, we start getting into like, okay, we're gonna make our own video. So it starts to move pretty quick. At that point, I'm so tapped out that like, I was like, you know what? Everything that's happening in this class, I can literally research on YouTube. I have a whole video production book that I had to buy for the class anyways. So in my head, I was like, why wouldn't I just go home, study this book at a faster pace, and just learn more at a faster pace at home, pretty much. That was my mindset. And that really opened my eyes to like, okay, you're way too passionate to like waste your time. That was my ideology, okay? So that's why I dropped out, pretty much. I was like, this is not beneficial for me, so why am I here? And I dropped out, and didn't lose any money from that. I actually gained they gave me a decent amount of money just for going. Shout out Fast Food, if you know, you know. Now I'll get into the pros and cons. I'll get into the pros first, okay? So honestly, there's not many. I'm gonna keep it a band, because yeah, I just did it out of like anger, emotion, I guess. I just did it out of like me being hard-headed. So with that being said, the pros of it is I wasn't as stressed about my future. That's one thing I can say for sure, because at that point I was really pinpointed like, okay, I really want to do this camera stuff, right? So I didn't feel like it was a loss for me. During that time of being in college, I was stressed out because you're in college, you don't know what you're going to do with your degree or why you're getting your degree. So it's just a constant thought of like, bro, what am I doing? Like, I need to figure this out. And that's stressful. I know a lot of people can relate to that. So with that being said, it's like mentally, it kind of just let some relief out of my shoulders, especially if I know I wasn't going to do anything with my degree. But at the same time, maybe I would have done something with the degree. Maybe I would have, like, instead of liberal arts, maybe I would have changed it to business or actual video production and went to university, maybe. I don't know. There's a lot of things I could have done, right? So I'll never know. But I do know that like I just did not want to keep doing that stuff. I just knew like, I can do this by myself. One pro, I guess, and this depends on how you take it upon yourself after you drop out. But like once I dropped out, it was a big like, okay, now I really have to grind. Now it's like I really got to focus on my future. Like I have no school to support me. It's really just me grinding and getting whatever I can on my own. So that mindset really kind of helped me push towards opening like the whole picture of just music videos. So video production, doing commercials, doing short films, doing photo shoots, doing kind of everything. So it was a big push for me, like, okay, you can really do this. So you just dropped out. It's kind of like you have to do this now, you know? That was a lot to put on myself as like, what, a 19-year-old? But I'm glad I did it, because if I didn't take that sacrifice, then I definitely would not be in the position I am in today. Because after that, for a couple of years, it was just like really finding myself. That really helped me find myself, who I am as a person and just what I want to do in life. Because during those couple of years, no school, you're just working. As a kid, you're just working and just creating stuff. So mentally, it's not like the best place to be in, because you're kind of just like out there on your own freestyling. I'm glad I did it, honestly, because now I'm happy. I haven't been this happy like literally since I was like a kid. And I think it's because I'm very proud of myself, and like, and when I put myself through those years were crazy years. So like I'm proud of myself from just getting through them, you know? Yeah, so once you drop out, it's like a lot of pressure on yourself, but at the same time, it's a lot less stressful, because I don't know, when you're in school, bro, it's just like everyone expects you to, boom, you're going to school for this, all right, bet. You gotta have this aligned for after you graduate. If you don't, you're screwed. I know for me personally, I know I could freelance my ass off. So like, I was like, bet, I'm gonna do it. I did it. And now I'm just chilling. I make a living off of videography, which is insane. I have another job, but like, it's just the fact that I'm getting paid to do what I love. It's like a crazy feeling that I didn't think was gonna happen until I realized it could happen. And that was when I dropped out. That's what it took for me. Hopefully it's not what it takes for you, because right now I'm gonna get into the cons. The cons of why you shouldn't, or the cons of dropping out of college. So the biggest con, I would say, is the whole education part, right? Yeah, I got the video production book. I got all these business books and everything from college still, from that first year. But the knowledge part, I learned so much from that first year, is insane. Just like business, human biology, like random stuff like that. I just learned a lot. I'm thankful for it, because I still remember it till this day. What that did for me is kind of just like for anyone, you learn more, you have more knowledge. Knowledge is power, knowledge is key. So the time that I didn't go to school, I could have learned maybe a lot more. Maybe I could have gained opportunities. You know, I literally don't know. That's the thing. For the most part, what I experienced was just like the professor going through the books and we would take notes pretty much. So it's like, yeah, you could literally do this at home. That's what college is for the most part. But at the same time, like I can't explain a whole book just by reading it. Sometimes we need people to like explain things for us to understand, and for me, I really need that. Some people just need more explanation, and that's okay. So the education part is one, like that shit's kind of gone, which is a loss because it's less knowledge you're getting, unless you're at home grinding, just learning stuff, which most college kids aren't once they drop out, right? Once kids drop out, they're usually not focused on expanding their knowledge on anything. They're just like, oh, I dropped out, I'm gonna work and hopefully figure out what I want to do. With me, it was different. I was locked in. I learned a lot by myself. At the same time, I definitely missed out on some knowledge from college for sure. I know that for a fact. It's like, it's college, you know, you're gonna learn something, you know, you're not there for no reason. Another con would be opportunity. A lot of opportunity can come with college. With college, there's a bigger chance of connecting yourself with people that are more into what you're into. Obviously, me via videography, I probably could have met a lot of kids that maybe right now are doing some crazy like video stuff that I could have been a part of, or I could have been like partners with them. Who knows, right? There's just a lot of connections you miss out on once you drop out. I'm telling you now, it's a lot harder to meet people that are doing the same thing as you outside of like productive areas. So like on Instagram, if you're just scrolling, it's gonna be pretty hard to find someone that's similar to you, has the same likings as you in your career. Thankfully, I met a lot of people that are into the same things as me via like videography, like music videos, film, stuff like that. You can meet a lot of people, but I feel like that's kind of a big point of college, is to make connections. I don't know, once you drop out, obviously you're missing out on a lot of connections you can have. Other than that, honestly, so another thing I would say, this doesn't really matter. Once I dropped out, I had like family questioning me, friends questioning me, like, bro, what are you gonna do? Like, do you have something planned, or are you just dropping out because you didn't want to do it anymore? Thankfully, I proved a lot of people wrong. Like, at first, people were doubting me, and like, a lot of kids will be doubted dropping out of college, dropping out of anything, you know, like quitting a job. You're gonna question, people are gonna think like you don't have something planned out, and that's okay. If it's good for you, then do it. I say, my opinion on it is like, literally, if it benefits you financially, mentally, whatever, then do it. If it's the best decision for you, do it. You shouldn't waste your time and just like stress yourself out over something that you don't really believe in, or something you don't think that you can see yourself doing in the future. So yeah, I'm thankful that I dropped out. You know, I learned a lot. Jesus, thank you. Sorry. But at the same time, I wish I would have done more. So it's hard to say. I got hired as a videographer just based off of me like talking to people. I literally walked into a restaurant, asked them, who does your videography? They told me a name. I emailed them that night or something, and I literally work for them now. It's crazy. Like, I was trying to go and do a video for that business, and they ended up giving me the business that does their videos. Ended up hitting them up, and they hired me. So it's crazy just how like small things like that will kind of put you in position. Like me trying stuff like that, I would never feel like I had to do that if I was in college, because I was probably gonna think that I was set. Being in college, you have like, it's not guaranteed, but you have this thought that like, okay, I'm going to school, I'm good, because after I have this degree, I can do anything. But once you get that degree and you weren't working behind the scenes and you have no content, no examples of your work, then it's like, what was I doing that for? Now I have to just do that for the next couple years again on top of the school I just did. I have an LLC for my video production company. It's like my first year having it, so it's not going amazing, but it's just the fact that like I'm doing all these things with no degree. I don't have no certification. This is all me just doing this for the last 3 years, working hard, dedicating my time, my focus, and kind of just not having these huge expectations on myself. That's one thing that helped a lot. How you can help yourself when you do drop out, or if you drop out. One thing, don't have big expectations on yourself, because like college, it takes time. So if you drop out, it's not like things are gonna start going as you want them to right away. You know, like stuff didn't start going planned for me until like a couple years after college. Don't expect nothing until you earned it or you're working for it. You know, nothing comes from nothing. Another thing would be just like believe in yourself. One thing to realize or to notice sometimes, if you're like sitting there thinking like, man, damn, maybe I shouldn't have dropped out. Like, no, you dropped out for a reason. And you have to put that in perspective, and you have to put that mentality into your work at this point, because you just dropped out, right? So you have to believe in yourself. There's nothing else you can do except grind at that point. Boom, that's another one, teaching yourself. You're your teacher now. You just dropped out, you have no teacher, you have no professor, so you really have to make sure you're learning at all times. One thing I lack is knowledge. This basic stuff, like learning about the camera, learning about whatever you need to learn in order to get you in position to start your career, pretty much, to be okay, to start being professional. I would say I'm a professional now because I put so much hours and time into this, but there's still a lot that I lack that professionals don't lack, which is like knowledge. Make sure you're always learning. That's like the most important thing you can do. I think that's all I have for y'all. Yeah, don't drop out of college is what I would tell most kids. Just keep going. But if you truly feel and it's like messing you up, you really feel like you gotta drop out and it's like the best decision for you, then do it. Like, don't stop yourself. Don't limit yourself once you drop out. Keep in mind, like, once you drop out, it's free for all in life. So you gotta stay locked in, just stay true to your word, believe that like you did it for a reason. So yeah, I think that's all I got for you guys today. If you made it this far, thank you. Appreciate it a lot. I'm gonna make more videos like this, kind of just talking, yapping. Yeah, so that's my story of why I dropped out. Don't drop out, kids. I don't know. I don't even know. This is just, I'm not even trying to give y'all advice at this point. I'm just telling y'all why I dropped out. Okay, so yeah. Hope y'all have a good day. Peace.